For years, my 600 pounds life has shown viewers shocking transformations, emotional breakdowns, and heartbreaking struggles. But some patients didn't just challenge the scale, they challenged even Dr. Now's patience. These were the cases filled with addiction, manipulation, emotional collapse, and moments so intense that fans still talk about them years later. From patients who fought desperately to survive to others who pushed every limit imaginable, these stories became some of the darkest and most unforgettable chapters in the history of the show. It all started with Robert Butchell, one of the sickest patients Dr. Now had ever treated. When Robert first arrived, he weighed nearly 850 pounds and could barely move. Every breath looked painful. His heart, lungs, and joints were under constant pressure, and Dr. Now immediately realized this wasn't going to be an ordinary case. But Robert's weight wasn't the only thing destroying him. Hidden beneath the surface was another deadly battle: addiction. Robert depended heavily on pain medication, and it quickly became clear that his emotional struggle ran even deeper than his physical condition. Dr. Now understood something many viewers didn't realize at first. Losing weight alone would never save Robert if he couldn't overcome the addiction controlling his life. Still, there was hope. Unlike many patients on the show, Robert wasn't alone. His fiancée, Catherine, stayed beside him through every painful moment. She cared for him, encouraged him, and genuinely believed he could survive. And for a while, it looked like she was right. Robert shocked viewers by following Dr. Now's strict diet and losing weight faster than almost anyone expected. Hundreds of pounds started disappearing. For the first time in years, he looked motivated to fight for his future. Dr. Now became optimistic, believing Robert might become one of the program's greatest success stories. Then came a major breakthrough. Doctor successfully removed a massive lymphedema growth from his body. The surgery was risky, emotional, and life-changing. But that's when everything started falling apart. As Robert recovered in the hospital, the emotional weight of his transformation began crushing him mentally. Depression took over, while his dependence on food weakened. His dependence on painkillers grew even stronger. Soon, hospital staff discovered something shocking. Robert had tampered with medical equipment in an attempt to receive more medication. The revelation stunned everyone. In that moment, Dr. Now realized Robert wasn't fighting one addiction. He was fighting two. The doctor became visibly frustrated and heartbroken. He argued with Robert repeatedly, warning him that addiction would destroy every ounce of progress he had made. Unlike patients who simply refused to try, Robert genuinely wanted to live. That's what made the situation so tragic. After months of progress and dramatic weight loss, Robert suffered a fatal heart attack in November 2017. His death devastated Catherine and deeply affected the medical team. Even Dr. Now, who rarely shows emotion openly, seemed shaken by the loss. To this day, many fans still consider Robert's story one of the saddest episodes ever featured on the series. But if Robert's story was tragic, the next case was pure chaos. When Stephen and Justin Asantai appeared on My 600 Pounds Life, viewers expected an emotional story about two brothers trying to survive together. Instead, they witnessed one of the most toxic family dynamics ever seen on reality television. At first, Dr. Now believed the brothers might succeed because patients with family support usually perform better. But almost immediately, it became obvious something was terribly wrong. Stephen Asantai turned every appointment into a disaster. He screamed at nurses, insulted doctors, demanded pain medication, and constantly manipulated everyone around him. Even while claiming he followed the diet, he continued gaining weight. Dr. Now quickly realized Stephen was lying. The hospital staff became exhausted by his behavior. Viewers watched him throw tantrums over pizza, cry for attention, and threaten to quit treatment whenever he didn't get his way. But the worst moments involved his younger brother Justin. Their relationship became so toxic that Stephen eventually stole Justin's pain medication after surgery, completely destroying what little trust remained between them. Justin slowly broke down emotionally under the constant manipulation and chaos. Instead of focusing on his own recovery, he became trapped dealing with Stephen's endless drama. Dr. Now could clearly see the difference between someone who genuinely wanted help and someone addicted to attention itself. Eventually, even the famously calm surgeon reached his limit. He openly confronted Stephen multiple times and warned him he would be removed from the program if his behavior continued. Over time, Stephen Asanti became one of the most infamous reality TV personalities in internet history. Some viewers hated him, others pitted him, but nobody could ignore him. Every episode brought another meltdown, another argument, and another shocking setback. Even years later, the Asanti brothers remain unforgettable because their story wasn't just about obesity. It was about addiction, emotional destruction, and a family collapsing in front of millions of viewers. Then came Bethany Stout, a patient whose struggle looked quieter on the surface, but became just as frustrating. Bethany shocked viewers early in her episode when she admitted something almost unbelievable. If forced to choose between food and sleep, she would choose food. That single confession revealed how deeply addiction controlled her life. Food wasn't just comfort. It was her emotional escape from everything. Her husband, Sheldon, and daughter, Isabella, cared for her constantly, helping her with daily life while unintentionally enabling the unhealthy cycle trapping her. When Bethany entered Dr. Now's program, there was real hope she could finally turn things around. But almost immediately, problems appeared. Bethany insisted she was following the diet plan, yet the scale barely moved. Dr. Now became suspicious because her results didn't match her claims. The deeper issue wasn't just eating. It was emotional resistance. Bethany wanted the rewards of transformation without fully surrendering the behaviors keeping her trapped. Like many patients, she struggled to let go of the comfort food gave her emotionally. Eventually, she did make progress, losing over 100 pounds and qualifying for gastric sleeve surgery. For a short time, it looked like her life was finally changing. Then the old habits returned. The weight loss slowed. Emotional eating came back. Her motivation faded. Instead of continuing treatment, Bethany eventually chose to leave Dr. Now's program entirely, believing she could lose weight on her own. For viewers, the decision felt heartbreaking because she had already proven she could succeed when fully committed. But mentally, she never seemed ready to let go of the addiction controlling her life. And while Bethany's story unfolded quietly, the next patient brought nonstop conflict into Dr. Now's office. Angela Johns arrived carrying far more than obesity. Weighing over 640 pounds, she also carried years of trauma, abuse, addiction, and emotional pain. From the beginning, it was clear her wounds went much deeper than food. Angela openly discussed her difficult childhood, abusive relationships, and the devastating experience of being forced to give away a child as a teenager. Over time, food became her way of surviving emotionally. Dr. Now understood her trauma, but he also understood something equally important. Pain could explain destructive behavior, but it could not excuse it. Almost immediately, Angela resisted treatment. She ignored instructions, missed goals, argued during appointments, and constantly defended her behavior instead of accepting responsibility. Her anger affected everyone around her, especially her family members, who appeared emotionally exhausted after years of conflict. Then things became even more serious. Toxicology reports revealed narcotics in Angela's system, completely changing the direction of her treatment. Dr. Now confronted her directly, warning that surgery would solve nothing if addiction remained untreated. He recommended rehabilitation and psychological treatment before moving forward. Angela refused. That refusal became the turning point of her story. Dr. Now eventually realized there were limits to what medicine could accomplish without emotional commitment from the patient. Angela's journey became one of the clearest examples of self-sabotage ever seen on the show. Viewers could understand why she struggled, while also realizing recovery was impossible unless she chose to change herself. And somehow, the next story became even more heartbreaking. When Sean Milliken appeared on My 600 Pounds Life, viewers saw one of the heaviest and most emotionally fragile patients in the show's history. Weighing nearly 900 pounds, Sean was almost completely immobile and depended entirely on his mother for survival. She fed him, cleaned him, bathed him, and controlled nearly every part of his world. Their relationship was built on love, but also dangerous dependency. Dr. Now quickly realized Sean had never truly learned how to survive independently. And when tragedy eventually struck his life, the emotional damage became almost impossible for him to overcome. His story would go on to become one of the most devastating endings the show has ever seen, proving once again that on My 600 Pounds Life, the real battle is often far deeper than weight alone.